infrastructure. We have the following attendees. Yours truly, Dr. Maria Chedora P. Dos Santos, Back Chairperson, Chief of the Administrative Division. We also have Engineer Arnel R. Samson, Bank Provisional Member. Of course, can attend to both the consultancy goods and infrastructure. We also have, of course, Engineer Alex Lacuna, Vice Chief of the Provisional Member, Vice Chief of the Construction Division. And we also have Engineer Raymond Basud, Bank Provisional Member, of course, Assistant Division Chief of the Maintenance Division. So for this, we have also Lynette Dragida and For the brief on this contract data, we have for 23L00437, Convergence and Special Support Program, Sustainable Infrastructure Projects, Alleviating Gaps, Flood Mitigation Structures, Protecting Public Infrastructure Facilities, Construction Improvement of Seawall, Poblacion, Gogon, Rapu-Rapu, Albay, Phase 2, Rapu-Rapu, Albay, Second Legislative District. For 23F00442, Repair Rehabilitation, Ragay Bridge, letter B00B3LZ along Rolando 8 Andaya Highway, Ragay, Camarines, Ragay, Camarines, First Legislative District. We also have 24F00264, Organizational Outcome to Protect Lives and Properties Against Major Floods, Flood Mitigation Program, Construction Rehabilitation of Flood Mitigation Facilities within major river basins and principal rivers, construction of Basud River, flood mitigation structures, Package 1, Barangay, Lidong, Santo Domingo, Albay, First Legislative District. Also have 24F00265, Organizational Outcome to Protect Lives and Properties Against Major Floods, Flood Management Program, Construction Rehabilitation of Flood Mitigation Facilities within major river basins and principal rivers, construction of Basud River, flood mitigation structure, Barangay San Isidro, Santo Domingo, and by First Legislative District. Also for 24F00334, Cluster 1, Rehabilitation, Reconstruction of Road with slips, slope collapse, and landslide. 1-1, Rehabilitation, Reconstruction of Roads with slips, slope collapse, and landslide along tertiary roads, Nabo, Balatan Road, Kabanbanan, Balatan, Camarines, kilometer 0486 plus 350 to kilometer 0486 plus 458.00, 1-2, Rehabilitation, Reconstruction of Roads with slip, slope, collapse, and landslide along tertiary roads, Nabwa, Balatan Road, Kabanban, Balatan, Camarines, kilometer 0490 plus 00.00 to kilometer 0490 plus 060, 123. Rehabilitation, reconstruction of roads with slips, slope, collapse, and landslide along tertiary roads, Barangay Diversion Road, Bula, Camarines, kilometer 0454 plus 002, kilometer 0454 plus 116.92, Camarines, 5th Legislative District. Eligibility requirements, eligibility requirements. Eligibility of prospective bidders is determined using the Civil Works application CWA, which electronically processes the compliance of the Class A documents as the legal, technical, and financial documents. Prospective bidders are encouraged to regularly update their respective records in the CWA on the following requirements. A. Class A documents, legal documents. Registration certificate from the Securities and Exchange Commission for corporate organizations, Department of Trade and Industry for sole proprietorship or CDA for cooperatives. Eligibility requirements, follow please. Okay na yan. For Class A documents, legal documents, majors business permit issued with the city or municipality where the principal place of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas. And in cases of recently expired mayor's business permits, it shall be accepted together with the official receipt as proof that the builder has applied for renewal within the period prescribed by the concerned local government unit, provided that the renewed permit shall be submitted as a post-qualification requirement in accordance with Section 34.2 of the IRR of RA 9184. So let's welcome Attorney Vijay Diamante, regular member in chief of the Bureau 1. For Class A documents, we have legal documents, number 3 tax clearance for Executive Order 3980 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. For the technical documents, number 4 to numeral 4, statement of the prospective bidder of all its completed and ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. For technical documents, for numeral 5, we have the statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for in Section 33.4.2.4 of the IRR of RA 921-834. All of the above statements 4 and 5 shall include all information required in the period is prescribed by the GPPB. 23.4.2.4, the prospective bidder must have completed an SLCC that is similar to the contract to be bid and whose value adjusted the current price using the PSA consumer price indices must be at least 50% of the ABC to be bid, provided, however, that contractors under small A and small B categories without similar experience of the contract to be bid may be allowed to bid if the cost of such contract is not more than the allowable rates of contract cost or ARCC of the registration based on the guidelines as prescribed by the PCAP. For another technical documents, 23.4.2.4, moreover, a contract shall be considered similar to the contract to be bid if it has the same major categories of work. The procuring entity may clarify in the bidding documents what is regarded as major categories of work. For the entire DPW's determination of major categories of work are defined in Department Order 117 series of 2017. 23.4.2.5, the SLCC shall be supported by an owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the constructor's performance evaluation system or CPES. In case of contracts with the private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted. Number 6 is valid Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board PCAB license or special PCAB license in case of joint ventures, and registration for the type and cost for the contract to be bid. Financial documents, number 7, numeral number 7, the prospective bidder's audited financial statements showing, among others, the prospective bidder's total in current assets and liabilities stamp received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of the bid submission. For the financial documents, number 8, the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity and FCC. 23.4.2.6, the computation of a prospective bidder's NFCC must be at least equal to the ABC to be bid, calculated as follows. NFCC is equal to or more than the current assets minus current liabilities multiplied by 15 minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the projects under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started, coinciding with the contract to be bid. The values of the domestic bidder's current asset and current liabilities should be based on the latest audited financial statements submitted to the BIR. For Class B documents, joint ventures bidder shall submit a GBA in accordance with RA 4566 and its IRR. its partner of the joint venture to submit the respective PLGIP certificates of registration in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the IRR of RA 9184. The submission of technical and financial documents by any of the joint venture partners constitute compliance, provided that the partner responsible to submit the NFCC shall likely submit the statement of all its ongoing contracts and audited financial statements. For technical requirements, if joint venture agreement, bill securing as applicable, bill securing this declaration. Sample format of bid securing declaration must be notarized. Bid securing declaration must contain the following: contract ID number, name of the contract, and the location. Addressed to the Department of Public Works and Highways, Regional Office 5, Old Airport Road, Barangay 40, Cruzada, Legazpi City. Okay, it also contains the following: B/I, blank, declare that. Number 1, we or I understand that according to your conditions, bids must be supported by a bid security. This may be in the form of a bid securing declaration. Number 2, B/I accept that A, we or I will be automatically disqualified from bidding for any contract with any procuring entity for a period of 2 years upon receipt of your blacklisting order. And paragraph B, we or I will pay the applicable fine provided under Section 6 of the guidelines for the use of bid securing declaration within 15 days from receipt of the written demand by the procuring entity for the commission of acts resulting to the enforcement of the bid securing declaration under Section 23.1, paragraph B, 34.2, 40.1, and 69.1. Okay, we also would like to recognize the presence, except 69.1, paragraph F of Engineer Benji Mendel, a regular member and, of course, chief of the Quality Assurance Hydrology Division of the IRR of RA 9184, without prejudice to other legal action the government may undertake. Also, number 3B is I understand that the bid securing declaration shall cease to be valid of the following circumstances: A, upon expiration of the bid validity period or any extension thereof pursuant to your request. B, we/I are declared ineligible or thus disqualified upon receipt of your notice to such effect, and we/I fail to timely file a request for reconsideration or I filed a waiver to avail of said rights. Letter C, we/I are declared as the bidder with the lowest calculated and responsive bid, and we/I have furnished the performance security and signed the contract. And the direct is, with this whereof we/I have hereof to set my hands blank, day of blank at blank, or the place where this being notarized upon it. Okay, technical documents, duly signed organizational chart, duly signed list of key personnel for the contract with supporting affidavits of commitment to work on the contract with the key personnel, duly signed list of contractors' major construction and laboratory equipment pledged to the contract, and omnibus sworn statement. For the financial requirements, we have the duly signed bid form, duly signed bill of quantities including summary of bid prices, duly signed initial detailed estimates, duly signed cash flow by quarter. Okay, we would like also to recognize the presence of Engineer Odon Andaya, the Assistant Head of the DPWH, and also the Assistant Division Chief of the Equipment Management Division. For further instruction / clarifications on the submission of technical and financial documents, for those who wish to use bid security declaration or BSD as bid security, use the new format for Department Memorandum Circular 85 Series of 2020 uploaded in the PhilGIPS and DPWH websites. Similarly, use the uploaded new omnibus summary statement format that contains addendum and glossary pertaining to the declaration of non-inclusion in the blacklist, and add additional declaration disclosed pertaining to the advance payment. Prospective bidders are required to use the appropriate and correct format of the omnibus summary statement pertaining to the authority of the signatory according to the type of the business organization. In example, single proprietorship, corporate, cooperative, or joint venture. Failure to do so will be treated as a misdeclaration by the prospective bidder will be grounded with the non-compliance of the bid. Okay, prospective bidders are reminded of the provision in the invitation to bid that equipment capacity as specified in the bid data sheet shall be mandatory, and absence of the same shall disqualify the contractor. All requirements stated in the bid data sheet are mandatory, hence, in the same manner that items of work in the corresponding quantities involved are fixed and mandatory in the bill of quantities, the type of equipment, their respective capacities, and number of units required are also mandatory in the list of equipment pledged for the contract. Failure of the prospective bidder to state a complete technical description of the pledged equipment and a specific location, whether owned, leased, or under purchase agreement, shall result in the bidder's automatic cost disqualification and forfeiture of the bid's security. The TWG shall conduct inspection on the pledged equipment as to their availability and efficiency. Equipment pledged for one awarded project shall not be pledged to another project bid out on the same date or immediate date after the bidding of the awarded project. Equipment pledged on several projects bid out on the same date, wherein the bidder is potentially the winner of these projects, will be ground for the bidder's cost disqualification in the other projects. Review documents to be submitted to avoid ineligibility and non-compliance of bid. Check the validity of permits, licenses, registrations, and clearances. Check the completeness as to the form and substance of the bid security, affidavits, declarations, and other notarized documents. Use the new bid form for infrastructure GPPB Resolution number 16/2020 and circularized in the DPWH Department Order 5 Series of 2020. All entries required in the bill of quantities, such as those for the unit price, invoice, and figures in the total price for the item for both lump sum and non-lump sum items of work, should be properly filled out. Absence of any of the said required entries will be ground for non-compliance finding on the bid and shall be considered violation under Department Order number 28 Series of 2024 3-strike policy in the procurement of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services contracts. Absence of signature on any page of the bill of quantities qualified as one of the violations contemplated in Department Order number 28 Series of 2024. 3-strike policy in the procurement of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services contracts. Provisions of excessive OCMs, profits, and taxes, and the detailed estimates shall be considered as ground for the disqualification of the bid.
Shall not be.
A ground for the disqualification. Okay, provisions of excessive OCMs, profits, and taxes in the detailed estimate shall not be considered as ground for the disqualification of the bid. However, the TWG shall make corrections on the bid incorporating therein the correct percentages, amounts for the indirect cost per Section 32 of the IRR of RA 9184 and BO 28 Series of 2024. The resultant amount shall be considered as a corrected bid. Awards shall be made to the submitted bid price or is calculated corrected bid price, whichever is lower. Lump sum cost in the bill of quantities must be supported with detailed cost estimate showing the direct and indirect cost including tax. Provision of overhead contingencies and miscellaneous OCM for special items under the general requirements and facilities for the engineer shall not be accepted. Discounts offered in handwritten text in the bid form should be signed or initialed by the authorized managing officer who is authorized to sign the bid documents. Otherwise, the discount will not be accepted. Erasures and termination, overwriting, and alterations in any document should likewise be signed / initialed by the authorized managing officer. A brief explanation of the criteria for eligibility is screening, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, and cost qualification. Process and criteria for eligibility processing shall be in accordance with Sections 23.1 and 23.4.2 of the revised IRR of RA 9184 and the public profile based on BO 117 Series of 2017 revised guidelines for the determination of major and similar categories of work. Electronic eligibility processing through the Civil Works Application or CWA shall be conducted simultaneously or ahead of the opening of the technical documents depending on the consistency of the network connectivity of the CWA. Preliminary examination of bids shall be conducted in accordance with Section 30 of the revised IRR of RE 9184. Bids that fail to include any requirement from the checklist or are incomplete or patently insufficient shall be considered as failed. The team evaluation bids shall be in accordance with Section 32 of the revised IRR of RE 9184. Bids shall be checked as to completeness. Arithmetical correction will be performed on computational errors, and omissions will be corrected to enable proper comparison on equal footing of all eligible bids. Post-qualification shall be conducted in accordance with Rule 10, post-qualification of the IRR of RE 9184. Verification, validation, and ascertainment of all statements made in documents submitted by the bidder, the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria as stated in the bidding documents covering the legal, technical, and financial requirements. The provisions of the revised IRR of RE 9184, the DPWH Procurement Manual to Infrastructure shall govern the procurement. Instruction of the purchase of bidding documents. Only the owner of the firm or the authorized representative's name in the CRC shall be allowed to transact business relative to bidding matters and purchase bidding documents per DO 176 series of 1993 and as reiterated in DO 197 series of 2001. Those representatives not included in the CRC are required to submit special power of attorney or SPA or secretary's certificate whichever is applicable. The authorized representatives issued with SPA or secretary certificate shall be required to present 2 valid government-issued identification cards or IDs and a print-out copy of the document request list or DRL, the produce posting of the contract to be bid showing the name of their construction firm. The bank secretariat will not be responsible for the failure by the bidder to pay the bidding document in time for the bid dropping due to late arrival, delayed processing of the order of payment, collection order, in the late payment of the bidding documents. Instruction to purchase a bidding document, also the loss of the order of payment and supporting documents already released issued with the bank secretariat is not the responsibility of the bank secretariat. Only the signatory may cancel and or revise the duly signed letter of authority to purchase bid documents. Bidding documents payment made for canceled projects due to no funds approved released and for disapproved modification and or for late release projects that have already exceeded the 3-month period for award are non-refundable as a matter of policy of the DPWH Regional Office 5. Okay, instruction, the submission and dropping of bids. Follow the checklist of the technical and financial document requirements uploaded with the bidding documents for the contract to be bid out. Absence of any required document shall be considered as failure of compliance on the required document and non-compliance of the bid. Chronologically arrange documents in accordance with the checklist for the technical and financial documents. Provide extra inpagination and securely bind the documents. Affix initials on all pages of the documents. The initials on the pages together with the pagination affirm the authenticity of the pages that they are indeed part of the submitted bid documents. Submit duly signed original in 1 machine copy of the bid documents. Machine copies of the documents must be from the original. Instruction, again, on the submission of drafting of bids. Letter A, place the original technical document in an envelope and securely seal it. Put a marking on the envelope containing the following text: original technical document, the name of the bank chairperson, and the name and address of the procuring entity, the contract ID, the name of the project, and indicate. Do not open before 10 a.m. of April 1, 2024 for 23F00437 and 23F00442. Do not open before 10 a.m. of April 2, 2024 for 24F00264, 24F00265, and 24F00334. Do the same to the original financial documents and put both the original technical and financial envelopes in one outer envelope. Label the outer envelope as original bid, including the other text for the marquee. Do the same about procedures with a copy by marking envelopes as copy 1 with the technical and financial envelopes as well as the outer envelope. Place the envelope labeled original bid in copy 1 in one mother envelope and put the marking containing the text name of the voucher person in the name and address of the procuring entity, the contract ID in the name of the project, and indicate do not open before 10 a.m. of April 1, 2024 for 23F00437 and 23F00442. Do not open before 10 a.m. of April 2, 2024 for 24F00264, 24F00265, and 24F00334. Okay, this is the illustration of the instruction and the submission and drafting of bids. This is the original, which contains technical documents and financial documents for the outer envelope that is attached to the mother envelope. Also the copy 1 technical documents and outer envelope and financial documents. So, other important matters, prospective bidder encouraged to conduct site inspection for them to determine whether this is the right project for them. Decisions of the bank amending any provision in the bidding documents shall be issued in writing through a supplemental or bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for submission and receipt of bids. Minutes of the pre-bid conference will be posted in the bank bulletin board, and prospective bidders are encouraged to read the minutes. Prospective bidders are also encouraged to regularly visit the postings in the Projects and EPS websites to keep themselves abreast of the supplemental bid bulletins that may be issued by the bank. Okay, other important matters, prospective bidders, key personnel shall submit copies of their valid and updated PRC licenses and or accreditation whichever is applicable. Possible causes of failure of bidding are number 1, no bids are received. Number 2, all prospective bidders are declared ineligible. Number 3, all bids fail to comply with all the bid documents or fail post qualification. Or number 4, the bidder with the lowest calculated responsive bid refuses without justifiable cause to accept the award or contract, and no award is made in accordance with Section 40 of the Act and its IRR. Okay, that is the presentation for the pre-bid conference. Members of the bank, do you have any additional info? Sir? Friends? Attorney? Okay, any other? Okay, so there be no additional information and everything is clear. This pre-bid conference for the public contract IDs that we have discussed a while ago is now. Thank you all for joining us, and if there are any joining us, thank you. DPWH and back.